Welcome to the Valmark Back Office Heroes video podcast series. I'm Geoff Moore, Chief Information Officer for the Valmark Financial Group. With me today is Morgan and Grace, and we're going to learn a little bit more about them. So Morgan, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit, I guess, first about yourself. Tell us kind of a fun fact about Morgan.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Morgan Lee. I guess a fun fact about me would be I have been on a professional water ski team from the age of 6 to 22. I still ski for fun now. Okay. I don't professionally water ski anymore, but it's a big thing in Wisconsin.
Big thing in Wisconsin. Okay, so what was like your favorite lake or pond, or like what was your like home course?
Yeah, our home course in Ohio is Chippewa Lake.
Okay.
And also a lake in Norton called Emerald Lake. Okay. It's right off of 71, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's like our main lake that we ski on.
Okay, cool. So water ski. Okay, so Grace, how about you? Fun fact.
Fun fact is that I love to redo, repurpose furniture at home. So
what's your favorite piece that you've refinished?
Favorite piece was probably the huge desk. It's like a very old antique desk that I redid about 2 years ago.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
In our office.
So was that like your COVID project?
It was my COVID project, actually. No, it was 2019. It was
2019. So a little pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was a little bit before COVID, summer before COVID, yeah.
Fun. I'm sure my wife would like pepper you with fun questions. She likes old-timey furniture, so
yes.
I'm sure you could give her some good tips.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's kind of like now with like TikTok and Instagram, there's a lot of those.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself.
DIYs.
Renovations, yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure we could talk about that stuff all day long. So today, and the reason there's two of you is you guys actually both have the same role at Valmark, and here in the Akron office, I see you guys together. Your desks are right next to each other. I just feel like you guys are the Wonder Twins, Wonder Dynamics. So maybe Morgan, tell us just a little bit about kind of what you guys do.
Yeah, so we both are new business specialists for insurance. So what our day-to-day typically looks like is dealing with applications. So we help scrub apps before we submit them to all carriers. And then once we submit them, we work a lot with our member offices on just requirements that may be needed. Up until policy issue, we issue the policy, send it off to our member offices. We review it before we send it off.
We're kind of like a go in between our member offices and carriers, and we just try to make member offices' lives a little bit easier. If there's any sort of like requirements throughout the life of the case that we can answer and that we can find in the app, we're not just going to pass that along to the office. If we have those answers, we'll send that off and try to like expedite the process. But yeah.
Yeah. So like in my simple mind, I kind of think of you guys as like the quarterback on the team, right? Like you're getting the ball and you're trying to get everybody, all the different parties involved, and just get the ball over the goal line for the client. Is that kind of a fair?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then once it's over that goal line, then PMC deals with it.
PMC, which is our
policy management.
And what do they do?
They deal with all in-force policies. So like if premium is like if you owe premium on a policy that wasn't paid, they'll deal with like getting it all back on track.
And that's a little bit unique, right? Like I'm not sure, like kind of unique.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
Valmark.
I don't know the exact percentage, but I know it's a very high percentage of policies lapse or don't perform the way that they were illustrated, just because people don't keep up on them. And so that was kind of the whole idea, the whole baby behind PMC.
So
they're newer to Valmark too, I think.
Yeah.
The PMC.
Yeah, a couple years they've been around.
Yeah, a little bit newer development. So what are some, I imagine you guys have a whole bunch of interesting stories about things that come in, everyone, especially in the life insurance world, like we think it's going to start one way and then it kind of turns different. So can you tell us a little bit about kind of some of the unexpected twists and turns that happen and how you help offices kind of navigate some of those turns?
Yeah, I would say a big one is just like sometimes underlying health issues will arise with like the client's lab results that even they might not be aware of, and then they have to work with their physician on like figuring out what is going on. So then that results in like an OTAF, which is like other than applied for offer, which is our biggest hurdle.
Yeah, so explain just a little bit for those that maybe aren't as life insurance specific. Or Grace wants to take a crack at like what is an OTAF? Like how does that work?
So like if a client applies for like a preferred risk class, so obviously that's going to be a lot less in premiums. And then like Morgan said, if they come back and their labs aren't great, something else is going on, then we could get, a standard offer from the carrier, which is obviously a lot more in premiums than if you were preferred.
So OTAFs can be a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
sometimes it's make or break because it's just depending on like what the client's like risk tolerance is with like, their premiums and everything, if they can afford it.
Yeah. When she says preferred, it's like preferred non-smoker. So obviously people that are smokers do have, there's a separate
Different table.
category.
Yeah.
For
Preferred
them.
smoker. Yeah. Standard smoker. Yeah. That type of deal.
So that's a big one.
and for a client, I mean, they usually go into these kind of with one set of expectations, right?
Yeah,
So
preferred,
right?
They all think
preferred, right?
They want preferred,
the
plus.
The Grim Reaper's on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get preferred.
Yeah.
No.
And I think it's good. I do have a lot of agents that will set expectations with their client. They know their client's medical history. And
I do not.
And then some do not, and they all applied for preferred, and then it's this whole thing where you're not being realistic about the premium that's due.
Okay.
A lot of our agents that do have clients with really complicated medical things, they'll shop the case informally to carriers before going formal. Because once you go formal to a carrier, you're set, and then when you go to another carrier, they will know that you went
what
formally.
offer.
So
yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about maybe Valmark's informal process, because I think maybe it's a little bit different than maybe some other.
Yeah, we have a great underwriting team at Valmark. So they do a lot of the legwork with informals.
I would say that we're trying to steer away a little bit more from our informal process, though, just because recently carriers have been taking like extended periods of time to kind of give us an offer on an informal. They're kind of bogged down with like
so we're trying to use processes that allow us to
so we have that new Lyft program that's huge for Valmark, and that's just kind of we have this client, they have XYZ health risk, maybe they also skydive. What are the carriers that are going to give us the best offer.
So
so it kind of streamlines that process.
Okay, so that Lyft tool is helping us to get more information up front to make it easier, so not as many cases.
So we don't have to go informally.
So we don't have to go informal.
And it saves us a lot of time.
Yeah.
On everybody's end. Valmark's, the clients, all of it.
Yeah, I would say like they really only want to shop informals for bigger cases with clients with a lot of health.
Like very, very specific. Yeah.
So tell me about, so we talked a little bit about the OTAF scenario. So tell me about kind of how you guys coordinate maybe the Valmark team when things don't go as expected. Because there's a lot of different people involved internally, right? And you're helping to coordinate. So what does that look like?
Yeah, so I would say if like a case requirement comes back, I tend to try to handle that on my own, maybe loop in Angela or Mindy, who are our managers, to kind of escalate the case. If we can get an exception about a requirement, say like a form needs corrected or completed, sometimes we can get, what's the word?
Exceptions.
Yeah,
just because we have like a really good relationship with all of the carriers.
So we'll get exceptions to not have to go back to the member office to get that requirement or form completed, or even get it completed later on, like on policy delivery, because they already have to sign all the delivery requirements then. If it's an underwriter requirement, we always send it to our underwriters if we can.
So like sometimes with those OTAFs, sometimes our underwriters are able to kind of work some magic. We've even gotten a couple like declines where it was just some sort of mistake that the underwriter found, and then we're able to get us like a preferred rating or sometimes like a standard rating instead of just an outright
decline. So go
decline.
from basically the person wasn't going to be able to get insurance at all the way up to preferred.
I've had a couple cases where that's happened.
Michael and Lauren are the best. Eric too. We can't forget about Eric.
Yeah, we're very lucky. We have some very experienced underwriters to help us in our clients and agents. That's awesome. So how long have you guys each been at Valmark?
I just hit my 3-year anniversary.
3-year, okay.
Yeah, and then mine will be 4 years in I think like a week from today.
Awesome. So what has been your favorite part about working at Valmark so far?
The people, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I love our team that we have. Everyone is extremely supportive. Everyone really cares about you as a person, I would say. Like, I have a 2-year-old son, so like when he's sick, people are checking in, asking how he's doing, and it's just like a family atmosphere here.
Yeah, very much. Definitely for me as well.
Yeah.
Our team is like super supportive. I always feel like, you know, if we have any issues with carriers, like our managers are always like have our backs. And yeah, definitely. I mean, I got married this summer and they
congrats.
threw me, thank you. They threw me a like bridal shower and it was really, really sweet. I mean, they like went above and beyond. So
That's awesome. Glad to hear.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here, I think everyone would say that about Valmark that works here.
yeah, the people
people?
just
Yeah.
at Valmark are,
And when you say people, I think, you know, you just gave some examples of your teammates, but I think that also extends to our agents and advisors as well, right? Like you would.
Yeah,
feel
I have
some-
some great agents. Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of my job is working with my agents.
Awesome. Morgan, Grace, thank you for being here today. This was the Valmark Back Office Heroes series video podcast. I'm Geoff Moore, Chief Information Officer for the Valmark Financial Group. Stay safe.